YouTube, Instagram. Click go live on there. Good morning if you're just joining on social media. We will, today, Wednesdays, we focus just that little bit more on strength and flexibility, but at the same time, having that clear focus on breath guiding the movement. We'll do our little bit of a warm-up mobilization first, and then I think we'll play around with some squats and some balance. So find your comfortable position where you've got space in front and behind, where you're not going to be disturbed for the next 30 minutes. Let's go shoulder width apart on the feet. And just take a moment just to connect the feet into the ground. So feel the ball of the foot in connection with the ground. Feel the heel in connection with the ground. And just find that sweet spot where you're balanced, pelvis is relaxed, so you're not tucking the tailbone underneath, you're not tilting the pelvis backwards. The good visualization is, imagine you've got like a little plumb line on the tailbone. So it's gently lengthening out the lower back, but it's not, you're not tightening the glutes there. You get the rib cage balance on top of the pelvis, and then maybe give your head a little bit of a nod and balance the head on top of the spine. Shoulders stay nice and heavy. And then we're just going to start that rotation from the ground, visualizing, just gently drawing the heels towards the center line. Feel how you get that rotation, that spiral through the legs. The ankles are soft, the knees are soft. So we're driving the movement from the ground upwards. Now breath is gentle in and out through the nose. Keep that spine tall, keep your spine tall, so that we get that rotation through the spine. Matt was just mentioning, as we were chatting before the session, about how this can help a little bit with any sort of like lower back tension. So think of the lower spine, the lumbar spine has got about a 12 degrees amount of rotation in that lumbar spine. But the thoracic spine, the upper back, has got about 65 degrees of rotation. So it's really key that when we're doing this rotation, you're keeping tall through the spine so that we're getting the majority of the rotation through your upper back rather than your lower back. That's why it's so key to think of that central axis running from the crown to the ground, that central axis that you're rotating around. Freeing up the shoulders in between the shoulder blades. And slowing down into water waves. And let's come to a standing position for a moment, just palms facing towards the ground, a little bit of roundness in the elbows, tall through the spine. Sitting back as if you're about to sit onto a stool, so the hips go back, knees bend a little bit more, spinal cord breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. So as you breathe in, you tilt the pelvis, spill out the front. As you breathe out, tuck the tailbone, bring the elbows together. Let's just rotate to one side, do a couple up one side, still tilting, still using the pelvis. You can breathe out and come back down the center, and then maybe a couple down the center again, and then just rotate to the other side. You go at your own comfortable pace. Back to center when you're ready. And then just returning to that standing posture. Again, having a little balance, checking in, the feet connected to the ground, pelvis, spine. Soften into the knees, soften into the hips, and a little bit of dog wags the tail. Remember, as we're doing this one, the pelvis stays parallel to the ground, the spine waves. And then just coming back to your standing position. So always, 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 if there's 3 movements you do a day, those 3 movements, that spine rotation, flexion and extension, lateral flexion. Even if you just do 2 movements each side, just to keep that spine mobile but strong. Let's go to the shoulders. So we'll do like lifting the shoulders, lowering, squeezing the shoulder blades together at the back. Just doing nice big shoulder circles. Goes without saying, if anything hurts, you stop. It's not about overwhelming the nervous system, overwhelming the musculoskeletal system. You might find that you're breathing with the movement, that you breathe in and you breathe out. Use the spine as well, so feel what's happening, particularly with the upper back, thoracic spine. Let's change direction. Breathing with it. And then have a shake out. Spiraling the arms as well, using this as a stretch. So bringing the palms together as if you're about to clap hands, but really stretch the fingers. The fingers are going up towards the sky. The thumbs are coming in towards the body, palm to palm. So really stretching out every single tendon in the hand. Then imagine you've got strings on your elbows that pulls the elbows up, and then the wrists flex. And now flexing the wrists down, stretching down, and then dropping down, and then spiraling the fingers out, and then coming back up. So you get in that spiral here. Feel that spiral as you're working through the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders. Spiral, spiral, spiral. Particularly good if you're doing a lot of work on a keyboard, mouse, phone. Change direction. So palms back, elbows up, and then pushing out to the side. So similar arm movement to the fountain, but we're using this as a stretch. So you're pushing out, it's like you're pushing two walls away from the side. Feel the spiral. And then just soften it a little bit. We've done it as a stretch, just soften it out a little bit, soften it out, and have a little bit of a shake out. So we've done shoulders, arms, let's do hips, legs. So maybe go a little bit wider on the feet. And we're going to lead with the hips. I'm going to go that way this time. I always start going that way. So whichever way you think you're going to start, let's go the other way first. So hip, keeping the legs straight so you feel that nice little elongation of the hamstrings, maybe the calves. Not locking the knees, so there's a little bit of softness as you spiral around. Remember, when you bring the hips forwards, it's just a gentle lift from the chest, from the sternum, just so that we don't over compress that lower back. So just lift. Remember to keep those hips coming forwards as well. Changing direction. Have a little bit of a shake. Let's do some balance and footwork. So let's stabilize. If I'm mirroring you on your left leg, make sure you're stable first. You can use your two tigers. Bring that right leg forwards, and then you're doing dorsiflexion where you're pulling the toes towards the shin, and then you're pointing the toes away from you, plantar flexion. So just flexing the foot. Feel how that affects the lower leg, particularly the lower leg. Spreading the toes. This is quite good if you use those toe spreaders as well. It's quite nice to do this with the toe spreaders in. And then let's do a bit of circling. So again, really spreading the toes as you circle. And other way. And have a shake out. Shake that leg out. Just stand. Let's stand for a moment, see how that feels. Connect that foot to the floor again. And then we'll swap sides. So now you stabilize, use that whole side of the body to stabilize. It's not just standing on the leg, whole side of that body to stabilize. Foot forward, use your tigers if you want to use your tigers. Flexing. Breathing. In and out through the nose. And then circling. No worries if you wobble, your brain's learning. Spreading the toes, circling in the other direction. And then having a shake out. Good, having a little bit of a shake there. Let's do a spine wave. So with the spine wave, we're moving from the center, so the pelvis tilts, the legs, make sure you're about shoulder width apart, parallel if you can go parallel. Your pelvis is tilting, so the spine drops forwards, but we keep that chest lifted. You'll feel that lengthening through the back of the legs. When you get to the point where that feels, yeah, that's enough, you just roll down. And then you bend your knees and roll back up. And then just repeat that spine wave, chin and chest lifted, moving from the center first. And then roll down. A little bit of bend in the knees and roll back up. You could do this hands on the hips, but I quite like just letting the arms just hang. It just feels quite nice just to let those arms hang, let the shoulders hang, let the head hang. Nice and steady. If you start to feel dizzy, stop. Let's do 2 more. And then slowly come up and let's go back into our standing position. Letting the breath settle. And then a little bit of shaking, so using the legs, using the arms, using the spine. And you can, if you want to, just tapping the heels into the ground or doing the washing machine just to get that vibration, a little bit of shaking going through the body. Letting the shoulders go as well. And again, if you feel comfortable to do so, we can just turn that into a little bit of a fascia bounce where you're just bouncing on the bubbling spring. Slowing it down. Coming to standing. And then opening up the shoulders, palms facing forwards. Breath settling. Heart rate slowing. Tiger claws. Make sure your feet are in a good position. Slight turn out. Sliding down. Just as far as you can comfortably go, and then coming back up. Remember, this is not about depth, it's about rhythm, it's about control, it's about breathing easy in and out through the nose. You can flow. Using the floor to push away and stand up. Nice rhythm, good pace. Let's do 2 more. And then come up to standing. Let's go into our standing posture. Again, you'll feel the heart rate maybe increase a little bit. Breath rate might increase if you want to do a little bit of a cleansing and clearing breath, if you feel for that. This is good. Don't want to be out of breath. We don't want to have lost control of the breath. Couple of little focuses. And I know we touched on this a lot of the times, but remember those tiger claws. It's fun. It's going, yeah, I've got tiger claws, but feel how that helps to engage all the back muscles. So that strength there helps to keep that back strong as you're lowering down. And also, as we always focus on in Qigong, is move your center of gravity. So all I'm doing here is I'm lowering my center of gravity. So if I can lower that a little bit more, I'll go a little bit more. If I can lower it a little bit more, I'll go a little bit more. If I can't lower my center of gravity any lower than here, what I'm not going to do is tilt forwards. So it's not about, oh, I'm just going to drop down here. It's about how far can I lower my center of gravity? And then I'm going to use the ground, and you can use that little spiral, that idea of drawing the heels towards the midline to help you come up to standing. Swap it around a little bit. So this time, rather than going down, we'll lift up. So it's almost like a Buddha holds up the earth as you go down. And then you come back up. Arms down by the side. So I'm not here. I want to be above, not overhead, but I want to be lifting something up. So if I can only get to there, stay there. Don't feel you can want to come here because you're trying to get low. So you're lifting above, and then you're coming up to standing. And same thing, it's flowing. So if you just get into there, that's absolutely fine. I'd rather you go to there rather than force anything down here. We don't want to be forcing, overwhelming the nervous system or the musculoskeletal system. You can challenge yourself, but we want to stay in control. Let's do one more. And have a shake out. This warms you up. Shake out the legs. Let's go back to, well, give you a moment just to let everything recover. So standing position. This is quite nice, this standing position with the elbows slightly out, because you can visualize the breath coming in the side of the ribs there. If you like this, can affect the ribs. So just breathe into the side of the ribs, the back of the ribs. See the clock. Oh, it's gone quick. Get carried away. Pulling down the sky, breathing in. Breathing out. This time we'll add the rotation, so 6 directions. Breathing in. Then rotating and breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. All soft and light in and out through the nose. The other direction, the other side. Interlocking thumbs, bringing the feet together. And just a minute or so of bamboo in the wind with the eyes closed. Just giving your body the opportunity to find its natural balance, where it needs to be, where it wants to be. And taking a calm breath in through the nose. Opening your eyes, stepping out. A little gentle brush down. And we will finish there. Excellent. Remember, if you just do a few little things each day, that spiral spine stuff going on, the 3-dimensional spine, play around with the squats. Remember, you're lowering your center of gravity. It's not how far can you get, it's how comfortably can you lower the center of gravity. And that's quite a nice one to play with as well, because it keeps that spine long when you are doing the squat. As always, if you have any requests of stuff that you want to work on in these sessions, please do let me know. As always, thanks for jumping in, and I will see you on Monday when we will focus just that little bit more on the breath. Have a good day, good rest of the week. Take care, thank you, bye-bye.